There is a moment in every difficult journey where your body says stop, your mind agrees, and everything around you goes quiet in a way that feels like permission to give up. You are not lazy, you are not weak, you are just tired in a way that goes deeper than sleep can fix. And in that moment, the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want is one decision. Do you stop because you are tired, or do you keep going until you are done? This is the story of a man who faced that moment not once, not twice, but so many times he lost count. And what he chose every single time is the reason you are hearing his story today. His name was James. He grew up in a small town where the options were limited and the expectations were even smaller. Nobody in his family had ever finished college. Nobody had ever started a business. Nobody had ever left and come back with something to show for it. James was not supposed to be different, but something inside him refused to accept that. He was 22 and he packed everything he owned into a single bag and moved to a city where he knew nobody. He had saved enough money to last 2 months if he was careful. He was not looking for easy. He was looking for a chance, and he was willing to work for it. The first month was harder than he expected. He applied for jobs every single day and heard nothing back. His savings started shrinking, and the city that had felt full of possibility began to feel like a place that had no space for him. He called home once, and his mother asked if he was coming back. He said not yet. That not yet cost him more than she knew. He eventually found work at a warehouse. Night shifts, heavy lifting, barely enough to cover rent. He came home every morning with his back aching and his hands raw, and he slept for a few hours and then spent his afternoons working on what he had actually come to the city for. He was teaching himself graphic design using a second-hand laptop and free tutorials online. Every day he practiced. Every day he was bad at it. Every day he kept going anyway. 6 months in, James was exhausted in a way he had never experienced before. He was behind on rent. His laptop was barely functioning, and he had just lost the warehouse job because the company was cutting staff. He sat in his apartment that night in the dark and felt the full weight of everything pressing down on him at once. He thought about going home. He thought about how much easier it would be to just admit that it was not working, but then he opened his laptop. Not because he felt motivated, not because he had some sudden burst of inspiration. He opened it because he was not done yet. He had not finished what he came to do. And being tired was not the same thing as being finished. He started taking small freelance jobs for almost nothing, just to build a portfolio. He designed logos for local businesses, social media graphics for people who paid him barely enough for groceries. He slept less than he should have. He ate simply. He said no to everything that was not moving him forward, and he kept going. 2 years after that night in the dark apartment, James had built a small but real design business. He had clients who came back to him again and again. He had a reputation in online communities he had spent years contributing to. He had an income that for the first time in his life felt like it had been built by his own hands rather than traded for his time at someone else's direction. He was not an overnight success. There was no dramatic single moment where everything changed. It was just 1,000 quiet decisions to keep going when stopping felt easier. 1,000 mornings where he chose the laptop over the pillow. 1,000 nights where being tired was real, but being done was not. People who meet James now sometimes ask him how he did it, how he stayed motivated through all of it, and he always gives the same answer. He says he was not motivated most of the time. Motivation comes and goes like weather. What kept him going was something simpler and something harder than motivation. It was the decision that he would not stop until he was finished, not until he was tired, not until it got hard, not until people doubted him, only when he was done. And the thing about that kind of decision is, once you truly make it, once it lives in your bones and not just in your head, tiredness changes. It stops being a reason to quit and becomes just another part of the journey, something to breathe through and keep moving past. You are reading this or watching this right now because something in your life is hard. Maybe you are tired in the way James was tired. Tired not just in your body, but in your hope. Tired of trying and not seeing results. Tired of giving everything and feeling like it is not enough. I am not going to tell you it gets easier. Sometimes it does not. But I am going to tell you what James learned and what every person who has ever built something real eventually understands. The tiredness is not the signal to stop. The tiredness is proof that you are in the middle of something that matters, something worth finishing. Do not stop because you are tired. Stop when you are done. And you are not done yet. If this story pushed something inside you today, please share it with someone who is in the middle of their own hard chapter. Subscribe for more stories like this every week, and drop a comment below and tell me what you are refusing to quit on right now. I want to hear it. Keep going. The finish line does not care how tired you are. It only cares that you showed up.